It's important for offenders to have a period of supervised parole because we know that it gives better outcomes for the community. Supervised parole helps to reintegrate the offender back into the community, provides them support, and also provides a means of checking on them and making sure that they're doing the right thing and heading in the right direction. I think what's really important to understand is that parole is not getting out of jail early. The court sentences someone to stay in custody for a period of time, and offenders serve that time in custody. Parole is an opportunity for them to demonstrate that they've changed their behaviour.
Supervising a parolee involves monitoring. We might call the police, their family members, their partners, friends, employers. Maybe if they're seeing a psychologist, we'll call them and talk to them and see how they're going. And also external service providers, so it might be the local mental health unit or the local drug and alcohol unit. The other role that we play is helping them to change their behaviour.
Now, all of our programs are evidence-based and it works around cognitive behavioural therapy. So basically, we're looking at change behaviour, the way the offender thinks, what's okay, their core values, their core beliefs. So if we can tap into those sort of systems, then we can obviously implement change. We're able to use motivational interviewing techniques. We do a number of exercises with them, for example, conflict resolution, managing cravings, communication skills, interpersonal relationships, and even building around pro-social lifestyle.
If you've ever tried to quit smoking or go on a diet, you'll know that behaviour change can be really hard. And so it's important that we have the right response to the offender that is commensurate with the risk that they present. What these reforms do is really back our staff to have the authority to make the decisions that they need to make to manage offenders more effectively.
I recently managed a parole breach that involved drug use. He disclosed it to me before I even had to drug test him, and he was quite remorseful about it. We worked together, we looked at his relapse and what had caused that, and also what we did is we referred him to a local drug and alcohol counselling service. So we were able to manage that breach without escalating it to the parole board, and he was able to get in to see the services quicker. And he was really motivated too.
Now, community corrections, who are best placed to make decisions around the offender because they know the offender, they know what's going on in their lives and they know what's changing, the community corrections officer will be able to give those directions and will have the power to tell the offender what to do and when. Community safety is a really big part of parole. So we talk about reoffending all the time, and I think sometimes it's difficult to understand what that means. But reducing reoffending means fewer victims. If we can stop someone from offending, we're not just looking after the offender, we're preventing somebody else from becoming a victim.
Most recently, we had an offender who was released on parole. He was assessed as having a high risk of reoffending. When this offender failed to report, I tried to establish contact with him, couldn't get in touch with him. I then contacted his parents and they informed me that the offender had rocked up to their house and basically abusing them verbally and making threats. It was also identified that the offender was using illicit substances, so huge concerns for us. So therefore we completed the breach report and sent it immediately to the State Parole Authority. His parole was revoked and obviously he was sent back to jail. Supervised parole is important because it assists with the reintegration of the offender, it also assists with the reduction of the reoffending, and it also protects the community.
The reason parole supervision is mandatory is because we know it works. We want more people on supervision so that we can do more to protect the community and reduce reoffending. So the work that our community corrections officers do in the field every day to make the community safer is really important. So we're currently recruiting hundreds of additional community corrections officers to support these reforms and make sure that they deliver to protect the community.